up, man? You been listening to any good records recently?
Um, as far as actual records, I have like 6 right now. I think maybe
Gotcha. Or
7.
albums?
I've no, but I'm serious because I just got a record player, and so I've been
Congratulations.
started to build a collection.
Yes.
I've always had records growing up. The first music I ever had was on records, because I got a big case of my parents' like leftover records. They were like, it was in like '89 or '90, and they gave me all their records because there was a record player in my room, and then they were like, CDs all the way, baby. We don't need these anymore because they had just got a CD player, and now they're like, whatever happened to all our records? But I have 9. I have let me see if I can remember. Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers.
Of course, I have that.
Freewheelin' Bob Dylan.
Okay, I haven't.
Richard Pryor, Bicentennial N-Word.
Okay.
What else is there? The Band.
Gotcha.
Their self-titled album.
Yeah.
Something else. Oh man, I'll think of it. I don't know. I got some funk in there too.
Good
Maybe
stuff.
some Joni Mitchell, Etta James.
Okay, for sure.
And the other black lady there.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, yeah, I have mostly. I have over 100 records at this point from over the years, mostly like punk and ska albums that don't really match my taste of music of what it's evolved into, because I feel like I've gone more towards like the indie rock side of things. Like only in the last couple of years did I get into Radiohead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can take you a minute to find it.
Yeah.
Radiohead, that is. If you I think it's different if you discovered them right when they first came out.
Yeah, I could see myself getting into if I got into Radiohead younger, like what back when I was like 10, like I would be listening to now with a sense of nostalgia, which
there's that, but also, man, some of those songs are just fucking good, and some of those albums are really good. I don't know what it's got to take to get. For some reason, some of their songs, and this is true with like everything that I like, it was definitely a moment in time in which I heard it for maybe the first time, or just really heard it for the first time. I maybe heard the song, but hadn't like fucking clued in with what was going on with it.
Oh yeah. You ever
that then sticks in your mind and makes it good forever after that.
Yeah, it just becomes engraved in the soundtrack of your life.
Yeah.
You ever listen to a band called Atoms for Peace?
Atoms to Peace?
Atoms for Peace.
Atoms for Peace. That sounds familiar.
It's Tom York singing, Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers on bass.
Yeah, that's that White Guilt band, right?
Probably. No, I just listened.
I'm kidding. I love all of them, but it's a good joke to be like they're just out there all crying because they're white. Except you said it was Tom Morello.
Oh no, Tom York.
Tom York, and who else?
Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Is he white?
Probably. I can't imagine. I
know maybe he had some Latino or something in him, but maybe not. What's his real name?
I don't know. That's. I wish I had a producer to pull this up. That's. God, wow.
You have me on the show and you can't even fucking help me out here.
I'm Googling that right now.
Plugless. What do we bet? Timothy.
Real name. It's gonna be something that makes complete sense too. Like when people realize, oh wait, that
Russell
the rooster.
Brand.
Yeah. Michael Peter Balzery.
Michael Peter Balzery.
Yeah, professionally known as Flea, is an Australian-American musician and actor.
White.
Yes.
That's what I heard.
Australian, wow.
It means just one of his parents is from Australia. Maybe he spent some time there growing up.
Yeah, I wonder if he has the accent. Good day,
no,
mate.
You've never heard
Flea
talk? Flea talks like this, man. He's just like, he's like, yeah, we get into the stuff, and we do it.
Yeah, because I only know him primarily for Red Hot Chili Peppers, and first he's the guy who discovered No Doubt.
No Doubt.
Yeah. They yeah, No Doubt. No diggity. But he he produced No Doubt's first album, the one before Tragic Kingdom.
When they were still a ska band.
Yes, dude. Before, like, they were playing like funk back then. Like, if you listen to No Doubt's self-titled album, you could hear, like,
I have.
this is. Oh yeah, it sounds like something Flea would have some sort of creative input in to make happen.
Yeah.
Like,
Sometimes. Other times it's just, I mean, it's not that the producer doesn't help, but I've been learning a lot about producers and what they do.
Yeah.
Listening to what's his name? Not Rick James.
Yeah.
The fuck is his name? Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin, yeah. He produced Andrew Dice Clay and a million bands.
And a million other things.
Yes. BC Boys, I think, was under his on his resume.
Their early albums, yeah. But listening to what he does as a producer is like, he doesn't know how to use any of the machines practically. I mean, maybe he does, but he doesn't really do any of that. He just hears and goes like, the balance of the sounds should be a little different here. Or like this should be deeper, or like do more of that.
Yeah.
And that's him producing the record.
Yeah. And then you have a guy like Rick Ocasek. I don't know if that's he was the lead singer of the Cars, and
Rick Ocasek.
Rick Ocasek, okay. He produced a lot of great albums growing up, and most notably the one that's had the biggest impact on my life, the Blue album by Weezer. And if you listen to the Blue album, it kind of does sound like a modern Cars. Like a little bit fuller. Like you could hear not necessarily the influence, but where Rick Ocasek like might have like suggested, all right, let's adjust the levels here. Let's make the harmonies a certain way here.
Also, just the tones of it and shit too.
Yeah,
like, Just What I Needed and Say It Ain't So are very sonically similar.
Yeah, God, wow, I never even thought of that. Yeah, God, that's one of my Desert Island discs, the Blue album by Weezer.
Save that little tidbit for a Patty, and you'll be the talk of the town.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this guy with all the facts. Let's put it on right now. Yeah, there you go. You killed an hour at the party.
Yeah,
just with your one little.
Just talking about Weezer and.
Is that one that have El Scorcho?
That was Pinkerton.
Okay. I think that's the only song off Pinkerton that I like. And you know which one I love because people hate it? Islands in the Sun.
Yeah, that Green album. But yeah,
everybody goes, that's it. That's their worst, most commercial, dumb song. And I'm like, it's my favorite. I love it.
It's they made a lot of commercial money from that. Like that song was, I think it was in a bunch of sandals commercials.
Yep, big time. Shout out Zach Galifianakis and Out Cold.
Okay,
that was a key plot point of that film.
I did not see Out Cold. What, was Weezer in it?
No, but they met to that song.
No, okay. Yeah, this
guy and the girl. It's Jeremy London, I believe, or Jason London. Do you know the London brothers?
Vaguely.
One of them was in Mallrats.
Okay.
He's the main guy in Mallrats.
Yes.
And his brother was in one of his other movies, but they're both actors. What was I talking about? What movie?
Wow. You mentioned the London brothers.
Yeah.
I am a terrible listener.
God damn it, man.
Still waking
You're having
up.
me on your podcast.
And I am listening. Right, I am letting you convey your information. No, but God, what did
go on. The London brothers.
Yeah. The London brothers. He was in Mallrats.
Anyways, he was in a movie that wasn't a Kevin Smith movie that I was trying to tell you about because it was relevant to the situation.
You mentioned Island of the Sun was in the movie. Shout out to Zach.
There we go, and we're back, baby.
Boom.
Out Cold.
Out Cold. That
was
is
the movie.
I vaguely remember it being
Zach Galifianakis, Jeremy London, and a couple other people that kind of blew up years after that. I want to say,
Yes. Was this a snowboarding movie?
snowboarding movie.
Yes.
Yes. Excellent. I loved it.
Okay.
Others not so much. One of my faves, and early comedy for Zach Galifianakis before anybody knew who he was.
Yeah. Okay, that is a movie that I'm going to check out. I'm sure it's on Netflix or Hulu.
It might be that was the only reason to tell me that whole long story that we went on was just to tell you you should have seen it. It's really, I mean, it's one of those ones that you're like, it's funny. I mean, it's not amazing, but you're like, look at all the people in this, and before anybody knew who they were.
Yeah, I feel like that was like a part of like almost like a genre of film, like college party. Like it appeals to like college kids at the time who were like big party animals, like your like your Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle or American Pie.
It was all like 2002 to 2008. I want to say was prime.
Yeah,
prime for that. Maybe even earlier. Maybe American Pie was like 2000. I feel like it was pre 9/11.
Yeah. Like stuff that you would picture SR-71s right now being in the soundtrack before it cuts to a party scene. I don't know if you remember that song.
No. I might if I heard it, but SR-71.
SR-71. They were like they were kind of like pop punk, not really. Like they were. I feel like if I could best describe this song, it was like the middle ground between Blink-182 and Lit. So not a lot of range there. Like I'm not like
middle ground to where's that line go?
Yeah. Yeah, like it's
Blink
not like
182 to Lit, and then Off the Cliff after that.
Yeah, I don't know what to compare it. You would recognize.
Do you think Lit is still together?
Yeah, they actually are still together. I believe they had a new album last year.
Original lineup?
In fact, a lot of people don't. No, not the original lineup. The drummer,
okay.
he passed away in like 2009.
R.I.P.
But yeah, but like
Lit
a lot of people don't know this. Like I don't know if you remember when Smash Mouth they played that motorcycle rally in North Dakota during the pandemic. So did
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah. But yeah, Lit and Buck Cherry, they also played that.
Hell yeah.
But they did not get any.
Full disclosure, I have personal ties to Smash Mouth. My brother was their drum tech for a good year and a half.
Good
Full
stuff.
disclosure.
Okay.
Full disclosure.
Yeah.
Go on. Proceed. If this ever came up in court later, I have full disclosure.
Full disclosure. If I needed evidence that I knew someone who was related to a drum tech for Smash Mouth.
He actually played 3 songs with them. The night was his last night. They let him play 3 songs. Full disclosure.
That's cool.
He technically played with Smash Mouth at Wrigley Field. Full disclosure.
Full disclosure. Wrigley Field. Wow.
Biggest show he's ever played.
Yeah,
possibly. Not anymore. No, it used to be. Now he's played bigger. Full disclosure.
Full disclosure. What has he played bigger?
He played like a bunch of festivals. He's played Coachella, played Lollapalooza. Not Lollapalooza. Bonnaroo.
Okay.
And what did I go see? The fucking. It was on Randall's Island in New York.
Probably maybe Warped Tour.
No. This was just I want to say 4 years ago. It was called like maybe the Firefly Festival or something. Or
is that the one?
Know, is it?
Not the one in the
crazy
Bahamas.
one.
Okay.
No, yeah, not that. I forget what it was. I'd have to look it up. But it was like supposed to be like another governor's ball type thing. But it happened on Randall's Island. It happened in like, I don't know, August or September. It was fucking awesome. He got us like, we had VIP tickets for the whole thing. But it went his band, Alabama Shakes, and Arcade Fire that night.
Okay. I just started getting into Arcade Fire.
Excellent. Great live band.
I could imagine.
Big fan.
Yeah, the only album.
The old Canadian Frogs.
Yeah. The only album.
He's actually from Texas.
Okay, right on. Yeah, Everything Now, that record.
Yeah.
Yeah, which from what I understand is like their more upbeat album. Like most of their stuff is like a little bit sadder.
I don't know. Some of my favorite songs by him are either dancier or like I
Yeah.
mean the one that made me first find him and fall in love with is oh, what is that one called? It's off their like first or second album.
Okay.
Hang on, I'll look it up. I got this. But and then they had that other song, "Just a Reflector," off of their Grammy Award-winning album.
God, they got a Grammy to that level.
Yeah, for was it Neighbors?
Neighbors is the album. I'm gonna give that a listen. Yeah, were you ever big into Neutral Milk Hotel?
Not big into it. Listen to a little here and there, but not a huge fan. I
God,
liked it, but I liked what I heard.
yeah. I was listening to Aeroplane Over the Sea the last night on the way. I was coming back from a mic in San Bernardino, and it was like I was listening because like it's a very like
Excuse me.
yeah, all good. It's a very
This Wake Up. There, that's the name of that song. Wake
Yeah.
Up. Do you know that song?
I do not by Arcade Fire.
Yes.
I'll give it a listen.
Well, I'd say we listen right now.
Because this is going to go on YouTube, and they are very strict about taking things down.
Okay, mark the time, and you'll just have to cut out the music. We'll listen to 30 seconds of it, and then we'll come back in.
Okay, let me figure.
You just got to share. Let me share screen. I got it.
Okay, let's do this. Good song.
I know.
Yeah, that's good song. Very well casted music video. Ben Stiller of Zoolander
I haven't
fame.
seen the music video, and I wonder if it's an official one or one he just said, "Hey guys, wouldn't it be cool if I made a music video for you?" And they're like, "Go for it, Ben Stiller." I
Yeah.
feel like famous people can do that. Like if famous people are friends, they can, a comedian and a musician, you just be like Eddie Vedder and be like, "Hey, fucking Bill Burr, you want to be in this video?" And be like, "Fuck yeah, man, that'll be fun."
I don't know if you ever heard of a punk band called Off With Their Heads, but Kyle Kinane was in their music video maybe like 2 years ago.
That's about the lowest form of that.
Yeah, that is not famous.
I've never heard of that band, and I know about Kyle Kinane, but most people don't.
Oh god, yeah, Kyle Kinane's one of my favorites. Favorite comedians.
He's very funny.
Yeah, no, Off With Their Heads. They're really. I don't know. Are you into punk rock at all?
I mean, somewhat. I would say it's probably one of the ones I've listened to more the least, but the few bands that I have listened to, I've been obsessed with those bands.
Okay. Who are your punk bands?
I mean, I listened to The Clash and MC5 and I don't know, when I was a kid, dude, fucking Dookie changed the game.
Oh yeah.
As far as like, you gotta remember too, I was growing up in Maine, and before internet, when it came to like music, it was to make it out as far as I was. It was a lot of like you barely hear about stuff. You'd hear about the biggest stuff because I didn't even have cable, and the radio that we listened to was like classic rock, and it wasn't until I was maybe 10 or 11 that an alternative station started, and you finally started hearing and that's right about when Nirvana and fucking Green Day and all of that shit. It was like 92 to 94, and so I listened to all that stuff from that time on. I was like, I also had an older brother too who was into all the cool stuff, and I just copied whatever he did.
Yeah. We were talking about how your older brother got you into Radiohead. Like at a very, very young age. Yeah.
He just had the albums, and I stole his albums, and I was like, if he thinks it's good, it must be good. And I was lucky he was right. But I also knew because he played music, I was like, he must know music. My friends were listening to at the time was terrible. It was like an Ace of Base. And
yeah, wow.
Just whatever the pop. There was a pop radio station.
Yes.
That was playing like Britney Spears top 40.
Yeah.
And then there was like a country music and a classic rock station. And then the closest even CD store was 45 minutes away.
Yeah, that's
And
I
so
hear
like,
stories. I don't know. I don't know. I think his name is Paul Russ. He was the creator, and he starred in that show Love with Gillian
love.
Jacobs. Yeah, he grew up in like some small town, I believe in Iowa, and he had to like drive like an hour and a half to like the nearest record store,
Yeah.
which is such an alien thing to me because I lived I grew up a couple blocks away from a Tower Records.
You mother.
Yeah,
How old are you too?
34.
Okay, yeah, so roughly the same time.
Yeah,
Um uh also, but like, yeah, so going to the record store, you had to be like a lot more deliberate. Like we would just get the hits of like the popular trends. So like
yeah,
from I would say 10 to like 14, it was like Nirvana, some ska in
yeah,
there, like Boss Tones and
yeah.
Mephistopheles and
Saw them last year, Mephistopheles.
Goldfinger.
Nice.
Also had Radiohead, the fucking, of course, Green Day.
Yeah.
Probably had the Blue Album. There was a couple local bands. Dude, there's a local band you should check out called Rustic Overtones.
Rustic
They're like
Overtones. I will do that.
they're from Portland, Maine, and they like should have been huge. They got discovered and then kind of fell apart, and now
Yeah.
are back together.
Were,
But they
were,
had a
were
what's
bands
up?
coming to Maine to perform live music? Were like bands planning tour dates around that? Like
They'd
under
come to Portland.
Portland. Okay.
They would come to Portland, which was an hour away. So
Gotcha.
you had to drive down to the city to go see a concert.
Yeah.
And now even it's still they go to Bangor too now. They
Okay.
built a nice big place in Bangor, and so they'll go there. Some people might go to Augusta because it's become a lot more fractured. Like there are these small little theaters and throughout all of like rural New England that some people can fill up with like 900 to 1,000 people. They're like city town hall type theater
Yeah.
places, but they're littered all over New England.
Yeah.
And that's where that dude Bob Marley plays. He does those like most of the year and fills them up in 7 states.
Okay. Right on. Do you mean Ziggy Marley?
No, the comedian Bob Marley
Oh, there's a comedian Bob Marley.
from Maine. Yeah, he was in. Did you ever see Boondock Saints?
I did not.
Okay.
That's another thing
I
I've
can't
heard
help
nothing
you.
but incredible things
But
about.
he started. He was like the same years as like Patrice and Bill Burr and
Okay.
and came out of Boston and he was in that movie and was a comic and did the Tonight Show and stuff and came out here, had a couple development deals and then went back to Maine and kind of just got big there and has been touring in mostly New England for now 25 years.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Occasionally he'll do a late night spot. Like I think he did the Tonight Show maybe like 2 years ago or something. And he knows all those comics and he knows like all the seller comics and stuff. But he's just like been like, I found this niche. Everybody in New England knows who I am, and I fucking sell out all over the place. So
Yeah.
I only have to drive ever like 3 hours to work.
Yeah. He has the market
and he
to
does,
do it. Yeah.
yeah, and he does 500 to 1,000 seat theaters fucking all over the state. And then
Yeah.
occasionally he'll go to Florida or Arizona in
Yeah.
the winter and do like the Tempe Improv, and it fills up with people from New England who go there for the winter.
That's like a guy like not that there's that much of a comparison, but a guy like Jackie Mason who is not necessarily like I feel like younger people don't know Jackie Mason as much. Like I'm barely at the cutoff, but yeah, he does. But like he does New York sometimes, like whatever one man show he's producing, whatever hour, and he does Boca Raton.
Oh yeah,
And like he makes
basically as a residency.
yes,
Yeah,
but great. He's an old man now.
I think that'll be more common now too, with people spreading out.
What?
Comedy as a residency, like with big comics going to these different cities.
Yeah,
It's now like people went to Austin or Nashville.
Yeah.
Those places were already destination cities. Let's go to
Yes.
Nashville. We'll see some music and stuff. And now let's go to Nashville and we can see one of these 3 comics who each do a fucking, 2 weekends a month at the place, and just fills up with people going to see some of the best comics and them wanting to be on the road less. So,
Yeah.
2 weekends a month, I'm always in town doing the residency show, and it fills up every time.
Yeah.
I can see that happening with a lot of bigger comics choosing to do that, because like people would already go to Austin. People will now go to Austin to see Rogan at Rogan's place.
Yeah, dude, that club is gonna be. I think that club is gonna be the biggest hit, the biggest new club in the last 2 decades, maybe even
Probably,
since like the store, or maybe since the store or the Ice House, because that is the amount of star power that's like coming into. Not even just star power, because I think like star power is this convoluted thing, considering that television doesn't own the game anymore. It's mostly like podcasting and social media presence.
Yep.
And
like me, I'm huge on TikTok.
Yeah. How many followers you up to?
Almost 2,300.
Okay, right
Not
on.
100.
Yeah.
Wait, no, 100, 2,300. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how many followers.
I've been on Instagram for what I got 2267, and been on Instagram for I don't know years now.
Yeah,
I got about 1,800 followers. Follow me on Instagram; it's a great follow, and I've been on there for years. A lot of content. And in just under 2 months, I gotten to almost double that with the old TikTok.
Congratulations.
Blowing up.
But yeah, like the just like the level of star power that I think Hollywood in its current form doesn't have control over anymore. Like it's all like they're all self-built audiences that like all that's funneling into Austin right now. I think that club has a potential to be almost like a miniature version of the store, and even then, I think it could be something greater.
I think it's going to be like Yakov Smirnoff's theater in Branson.
Okay, I'm unaware of it.
He has his own theater in Branson, Missouri. That he just is a show there. He's there pretty much all the time, and people just go. There's music in Branson too. It's also like another type of touristy town.
Yeah,
but it's that's a thing to do in Branson, is to go see Yakov Smirnoff.
Yeah, the way you describe it's kind of like an Athens, Georgia sort of deal.
Yeah, but think of it like the animatronic bear, the dancing bears at Disneyland. What are they called?
I know the bears you were talking about.
Yeah, that's how I see it. It's just like at that point with like Yakov, it's just like I come up here and dance, and people come and watch it. Yeah, I don't know where. I was just trying to get a sick burn on Yakov Smirnoff.
Yeah. Oh no, Yakov Smirnoff. His name is in lights in the OR.
He is a legend.
Yeah.
He built that place. Literally helped build it with his hands, put the nails together with the wood.
Yeah, that's right. He's been doing comedy since like the 60s probably.
Like one of those 60s, late 60s, early 70s, but he literally moved out here, and his mom gave him and his dad jobs building. I think they had just got the main room.
Wow.
They only had the original room, and they just got the main room, and they helped build all the new booths and stuff, and then put the new booths in the original room. Like the back booths now, where like the ones that are right to the left where comics can sit,
or Kiltony,
and the ones like in the back corner and like up against the back wall. I think him and his dad built all of those. Which is crazy.
Kidding. Yeah. No, because it's Does he still was he still doing sets in LA before the pandemic?
Yeah, I saw him at least within the past year there.
Okay.
And he's just doing regular shit now. I mean, he doesn't do. He's not still doing what a
in
country.
Soviet Russia.
Every once in a while, I'll slip it in, and you'll
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, you got me."
Yeah, everybody will go nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch that be like the next, like he's about to take his career to the next level, kind of like what Jim Carrey did back in the 80s. He was like an impressionist for like 6 years, and then he was just getting very, very experimental. And what if being experimental to Yakov Smirnoff was observational comedy or just like traditional stand up, and like he's gonna become the next Bill Burr.
Yeah, he's going electric. I bet.
Yeah.
Like,
That's yeah, because
that's my. I look at that as a good model of how to work. Whenever you might expect something even from yourself to just or not like expect something, but like to just completely pivot. Like people love you because of one thing, and be like, "Well, I'm not going to do that anymore." To like actively run away from adoringness when it gets too much, and be like, "I'm going to do the opposite thing," and then people hate it
yeah.
until they love it, and you were completely right to do it. That's the thing about Dylan. People hated him when he went electric, and then 10 years later, everybody's like, it was amazing. We were wrong. I don't know if I heard anybody say we were wrong. They just started saying it's amazing.
That's what happened to Pinkerton by Weezer. Like that album,
don't say those two things like they're the same equally. One is Bob Dylan, the other is with it.
Dude, Pinkerton's a fucking good album. Like I grant I'm not that big of a Dylan guy. Like all right. Like I know the times they are the times they are changing. I would probably. Well, he was in Cream, right? Nope, that was Clapton. Yeah, I'm I'm telling you, I grew up listening.
Just look up as a comic. Just look up Bob Dylan interviews. He was the best.
Yes.
At making a joke and turning and not answering the question and turning it on, like just had the best sarcastic remarks.
Yeah.
To any question ever asked to him. That you watch it, like there's this story. I mean, you can watch the whole thing. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Beach Boys.
Okay.
Were getting inducted the same night as Bob Dylan, and the one of the guys for the Beach Boys, I forget his name, but he went up and did this whole rant about how everybody shit on them. And look, here we are, like the Rolling Stones shit on. Everybody said, and like we were doing, and he just like ran through this list, and he was like called out Zeppelin and the Rolling Stones and all these other people, and he's like, and we're still playing dates, we're still fucking playing on the road. How many of these guys are dead or not even playing anymore? Like we're still out here killing it as a band. He gets off. Next inductee is Bob Dylan. They bring him up, and Bob goes like, "I'd like to thank him for not mentioning me." And he's just like, I am also playing shows. We got a lot of shows coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah, I'm sure Dylan had a lot of respect for the Beach Boys. In that same era.
I mean, yeah, they should. Any real musician does. I'm just sure at the time it was an easy joke to make, but not without thinking about the music.
Yeah.
I mean, they were 15-year-olds, you know?
I think a lot of...
We're putting a big opinion on these guys. Yeah, they made some good music, but also made some real bad decisions in life. So maybe don't put them on pedestals.
Yeah. I do think a lot of those bands, though, like, they do have comedic chops in between songs, and it comes out...
Some do, some don't. I definitely think Bowie was good at it.
Okay.
And also just for the high-pressure situation. Not high pressure, but, like, you got to think, like, maybe there's some obscure band who the guy's really funny, but he's not like the guy who does it on Ed Sullivan, you know.
Yeah.
When all the pressure, the entire world is watching.
They're not comedians, but they're just naturally funny people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do, like, if you're in front of a large audience.
But I mean, like, as far as like a funny guy in a band, like doing something, saying something in between songs, or especially like iconic when it's on TV or something. Like that's a real high pressure situation, and you don't have to be funny. You don't have to say that thing.
Yes.
You can just play your next song, but to have the confidence to be like, I'm just going to say this.
Yeah. I'm going to be the silly one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because interestingly enough, a lot of the, like, when I first started comedy, like, I wasn't into a lot of comedians per se, but like people like Jeff Rosenstock and Patty from Dillinger 4, who, like, they were both known for doing a lot of like banter in between songs, that not even banter, but just being themselves. And like they would get laughs, and it's like, I want to do that, but not load instruments, like have to worry about loading and unloading instruments. Because it's a lot. It's very similar in the sense
So
of,
basically, it's a common. What was that?
no, it's very similar in the sense, like, you're very being in a band and being a live performer. Period. You still have to read the energy of the room, and just like sort of like adjust.
Yeah, but the thing
Present.
with music though is that you can always just play the song. You can just play it. You can just turn it up. You can just you can lose yourself in the song and off the audience if things aren't going well or if you
Yeah.
don't want to, or and sometimes maybe that's the best thing to do and it ends up being the best performance.
Yes.
Where when you're doing stand up, there is nowhere to go. Like you
Oh
can't.
yeah, you have yourself. You only have yourself.
It's just sometimes it seems so absurd. Like when before a show when everybody's talking and stuff and you're just like, you're telling me they're all going to stop and I'm
Listen
supposed
to
to just
me.
go up there and be interesting for an hour, and I was like, I don't think that's going to work. I was like, I've been working on this stuff, but I don't think that's going to work.
I've never thought of just like the absurdity of that, just being like, hey, I'm going to interrupt everybody's conversations by talking about so and so,
Yeah.
XYZ. Because like it's such stand-up comedy is a very absurd art form to begin with. Like just the idea. I think particularly in L.A. I was talking about with somebody recently about just the idea that back in the 70s, people went on strike to make sure that comics were getting compensated in some small, even if it's some trivial way, like $20 per spot isn't a lot. But the point is, people went on strike for that, and kids today, they're willing to pay $5 to do 5 minutes in front of the same people. I think there's an absurdity to that, and
Well, here's the thing: we have overvalued the art and undervalued the artist.
I like
to
that.
where like some of the art gets fucking makes a ton of money.
Yes.
But the people who make it are not respected until they make, like, there's no respect for the process that makes the good stuff that you like, meaning that like there's no I mean, just simple things of like healthcare and stuff, but like it's so difficult to try and become a artist.
Yeah.
And not even that. I don't think
comedy.
stand-ups, I wouldn't call them just like, I wouldn't say artists necessarily. I mean, I'm an artist, but most stand-up is, it's subjective or whatever. But like the lifestyle is similar, and there's nothing, especially in this country, that is like, oh, you want to do that thing that, I'll be honest, we all love at a certain level. Like everybody who makes it hard for somebody to do that shit has paintings on their wall and watches entertainment and shit, but like in no way does anything to make it easy to follow that path.
Yeah.
And that's undervaluing the artist. So we'll like pay a ton of money for the stuff once it's made, but the process to which make it, we don't want to have anything to do with. And it's like, good fucking luck.
Yeah. I also find it, I think this goes within every genre of art, whether it be comedy, music, whatever. No, like, unless you have that one minor credit that everybody knows you for. I think for a comic, they're striving to get their first festival credit or first late night credit. Most newer, nobody's gonna listen to you.
I feel like that's almost done too. Those type of credits, like it's now like literally you have to build your audience yourself.
Yeah.
through social media and touring and shit.
Yeah, that is scary.
Because look, we're about to go a year now, probably, with nobody on, no comic getting on any TV spots.
Yes, that which is crazy.
And you know what? It changed. Nothing. And nothing changed because it already didn't mean anything. We thought it did, and people like bookers thought it did, thought it determined how people saw you or didn't see you, but it turns out it doesn't. Like, nobody's watching those things. It doesn't change anything to have that credit. What actually matters is being funny.
Of course. But it means just enough that it will give you a boost of work the following week of like I was talking about this with Leah McEnany. I know somebody in New York who, when she made her late night debut on Colbert, she was able to sell out a club in Austin. So it's not you're not going to get your development deal from it per se, but it's still, it's work that leads to a little bit more work, and you get a really, really cool, meaningful tape.
Yes. I don't, what I'm saying is I don't think the Colbert set sold out that club in Austin.
Yeah.
The fact that those two things happen subsequently is irrelevant. What I'm saying, but because nobody's watching those things anymore, and bookers and shit on the road and for the road stuff, like they love to see that. But now going a year without it, like, what does it fucking matter?
Yeah.
Like anybody's most recent credit is a year old.
God.
And and so it's so much more like, what are you bringing to the table? Like, will people come and see you?
I am listening. I accidentally unplugged my Halo light.
No, that's my point. Is like it's there's no I saw that as kind of like a ladder to the industry. Like, do this and you'll get up to this pay level and do this. And now it's like, well, the ladder broke a year ago. But there has been, if you were good with grappling hooks, you could climb this wall yourself. And that's what people have been doing, is just figuring out like different ways. So like, I didn't need you the whole time. I just needed to get to people so they could see me. Let me figure out how to do that.
Louis J. Gomez, he said something very interesting recently along the lines of how the one positive that has happened as a result of the pandemic to comedy is that the ones that are creating their own content are going to be way better off than the ones who aren't. That the club bookers, that the TV bookers, the late night spots, like for the time being, the power is gone.
Yeah.
And I also, something that I've felt in all this, like, granted, I'm not getting nobody's getting good stage time right now, but something that I have that nobody had, that
making gold. Thank you very much. I turn any stage into a theater.
But I have more artistic freedom.
Nobody, I'm going to go on a rant here.
Yeah.
Nobody believed me. It was a good idea. Everybody made fun of me. And those of us that did Squat Melt before the pandemic, I had been doing outside comedy on the sidewalks for probably close to 2 years.
No
and every Wednesday. And then also around Echo Park, did a moving one around Echo Park.
Okay.
Same one. We just switched up the locations here and there.
Yeah.
And it was originally in the back of the old Nerd Melt Theater.
Yes.
That's why it was called Squat Melt, because we're squatting at Nerd Melt.
Yeah.
And then got kicked out of there. And then went to the Steve Allen Theater.
Okay.
The old Steve Allen Theater on the east side, then got kicked out of there. And then we made it a crawl. We made it Squat Crawl. And we started crawling around. And this was with Howard Kremer, is the man who put this together. He is the godfather of Squat Melt.
Okay.
And he used to put it on, just put out a tweet every week and have, 6 or 7 comics show up, and everybody do about 10 minutes in different spots. And probably, I would say, between 20 and then one time the most was probably like 100 people showed up when we were at the Steve Allen Theater one time.
Wow.
Um,
These were all were they comics or non-comics?
no, he just, because he had a following, he's got a popular podcast, and
Yes.
he's a comic who's been around long enough and stuff. He's got like somewhat of a following. He just put it out on Twitter, and people would show up, and then people would tell, and then eventually there's like regulars that would come every week, and tons of people did it. Brody used to do it all the time. He would close it out all the time.
Wow. Yeah, I did. In 2019, I did one set with Andre Mulligan on the Santa Monica Pier when it was packed with like just people passing by, and it was miserable because obviously people had places to be. They were not there to see comedy, and chances are
You got to be quick.
Yeah, you got to be quick, or otherwise you're just annoying them.
Yeah.
Half the time they didn't even know, they wouldn't even know it was comedy. They were probably like, oh, look at this guy up here preaching about Jesus and the end of the world.
Yeah, you definitely got to figure out tricks and be quick. You know, like where normally, say a late night set, you're obsessed with doing a late night set.
Yeah.
You got to, if you're not getting a laugh in 30 seconds, they tend to not. They're like, oh, you got to be showing us something here.
Yeah,
because
probably within the first 10 seconds.
No, they'll give you 30. They'll give you 30 seconds to get to a laugh. And their overall ratio, I think, is about a laugh every 15 to 30 seconds.
Okay, that's reasonable.
As what they like to see. They've got a little more experimental, but they're like, it's got to be a big laugh and stuff. But like when they especially for nobodies, like, people who are established as comedians, when they go on, they're allowed, especially like Conan with, what's his name? John Doerr and Rory Scovel will do a lot more experimental sets.
Yes.
But if you're like a nobody comic and it's your first thing, they're like very much like, you're going to do these jokes and we want to see it this kind of way.
Yeah, they want everything verbatim.
But yeah, which I would be like, man, if you make me write it down, I probably won't say it that way. I'm just telling you right now.
I'm good with memorizing beats. I'm getting better at memorizing specific punchlines verbatim. But as far as everything that leads up to it, I'm very... I try not to be in my own head. And once I get in my own head, it comes off very, very robotic. And like that's something
I don't think about it, but I say the same thing. You know, when I got down to like the last time when I was on the road for the year I was pretty much doing the same hour the whole time.
Yeah.
I got to a point where like if you went night to night, I would probably verbatim say the exact same thing. But I never went over it in my head. I never thought of it because I had just like shaped it.
Yeah.
Doing it so many times, cutting out words and then saying it this way and then adding words and saying it this way, but never written it down. Like the only thing that's written down is like the title of the bit.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you watched me a year later,
so you just
it
have
would
a
be
set list.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But if you asked me to write it down, I would be like, I don't know what I say. I don't know. I go into auto mode and I say it the exact same way every time now. But
joke structure, what's that?
Well, they find it by saying it. Find it like, and it's right. Like, here's the thing: I can't write. Like, I've tried to like literally write, say dialogue in the voice of my comedy. I can't do it. I'm terrible at writing. Like I'm very dyslexic, and it's just a fucking jumble of to me. But I can write something, give it to somebody who knows how to write, and tell them the bit.
Yeah.
And then they can change what I wrote and be like, it's supposed to look like this.
Yeah.
Like just take like it's the punctuation, probably the spelling, where like I don't know. It's just my head's up in that way.
Okay. Yeah. Cause I see you as a very grounded guy. I feel like who you are right now, that is who you are on stage. Which I think is something that a lot of newer comics have a trouble doing. Like they think they're supposed to like emulate some sort of energy, and me that's a problem with me sometimes. But in your case, you see more like on the performance guy, which I know you had a big theater background before doing comedy.
Yeah. I went to school for it. I minored in it in college. And then I did plays pretty much constantly from the time I started doing plays in college. I was always doing a play, and then I did like there's some weird shit of me out there on like the Vimeos and the YouTube. I do a full length movie on Vimeo called The Water in the Bay. And I don't know how old I was when I did that. I want to say 24, maybe.
Okay.
I was also, oh, dude, I was the in my college's commercial. I was like the star of the commercial for my college.
Right on.
And it played the Super Bowl halftime, only in Maine.
Only in Maine,
but
just a local commercial, but
local commercial for the state of Maine, University of Southern
rent.
Maine. Paid me nothing. Just used me as a student. They can do that. Student athlete, basically.
Okay.
Yep. Paid me nothing. All I got was local fame.
Gotcha. Did you ever book any commercials here?
Never even tried.
Never even
gone out. It would be a thing. One, I don't have any, agents or anything like that. Which also, I don't know. I find weird. Never even been approached. Never talked to anybody. Never even heard of one. But what was I going to say? Commercials. I did a bunch of auditioning in Boston, and what I found was I would never get them, but they would have me come in all the time because I would be really funny and ad lib, and it made them look good to have good auditioning people. It made the day less boring because I would go in for stuff and look nothing like everybody else that was there to audition for it.
Okay.
They all look the same. I look different. And then I would go in and they would be like, no, like do like this. And then, ad lib in there. And dude, sometimes I would ad lib and they would laugh. And then they would be like, write that down. And then be like, we're going to take that line you just made up for our commercial.
Wow. So you think they having someone.
They're using me. They're using me.
You think
I'm sure they wanted me to get the commercial, but they didn't care. They just like seeing me. If they're going to stand there for the whole day, they're like, let's just bring in the funny guy.
It makes like at least someone is like at least knows how to audition. Someone who's loose enough, who's comfortable with themselves. Like it's like, oh, like the casting director's like, no, but on the right track.
I did so many and killed in the room so many times.
Yeah,
but never got anything.
I don't think I've ever gone on an audition and crushed. I had one callback for a Starbucks commercial back in maybe like 2017, and I think that was like the closest I ever got to booking anything, which I know I'm on the there's a lot of stuff I want to do when things reopen, but what's that going to look like? Because I think a lot of auditioning, what if auditioning like a year from now,
right now,
it could be
okay, like, please say the line. Can you start from the beginning? Please say the line.
Yeah.
And go. What
if it's this? A Zoom meeting or
start from the top. That's not the line.
Whoa.
That's what it's gonna be like.
Yeah, but just like virtual, because really, like having hiring, like renting a casting office, like that's an unnecessary expense going into this brave new world. Like, what is Hollywood gonna look like 2 years from now when things are comfortably reopened?
Who knows? Maybe it won't be here. That would be awesome.
Yeah. I don't know.
Hollywood wasn't here, but
it'll always be here.
Entertainment still was.
Yeah. As long as film production is here, I don't think anybody has the clout to move the entire entertainment industry to Austin or Nashville. Like it won't. Like it won't happen.
But you will see risings of empires.
Yes.
New empires. You have the trifecta of Linkletter, Rogan, and what's his name? This Spanish guy in Austin now.
Spanish guy.
With he's chums with Quentin.
Okay.
No. He made Danger Planet. What was that? He made Desperado.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
I have not. There's a lot of things I haven't seen.
How have you not seen that? And I thought you were like into
Dude, most of my time is spent driving around listening to music. Like,
But no, growing up, we're the same age.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 2 years older than you. You never watched Desperado growing up?
I did not watch Desperado. I will add that.
Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Robert Rodriguez, that's his name.
Okay, Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah. He lives in Austin as well. So, I mean, you're seeing a lot of bigger people in Austin and then also Atlanta,
Yeah.
where it is pulling from Hollywood.
Oh yeah, like they're building studios there.
Yeah, I think they've finally built them in Atlanta, but especially because of this, probably prompted it more because they couldn't just fly people in to do the shoot and keep it in a hotel. They're like, all right, we're just and go all in and build our facilities out there. So it's pretty soon before that it's that company or whatever decides, hey, it makes more sense to be here or be here.
Yeah, I can't see that. Like just the fact, like all the sound stages, all of the multicam sitcoms, that art form is going the way of the dodo. I get that. But
have you ever seen the Salton Sea? Have you ever been down to the Salton Sea?
I actually did very recently. Went
that
to Bombay
town,
Beach.
that's all just like a ghost town.
Yeah, Bombay Beach, I believe.
That used to look like Hollywood Boulevard. It can happen.
No kidding.
I think there'll still be entertainment here, but I can see a purging of the entertainment business depending on what happens with the economy. We haven't felt the effects of what the economy actually is right now with regular people, and we won't for another like 6 months if major steps aren't taken.
Like in the long rent, like rent, like eviction.
Rents, savings, all of that. Jobs, like we now have a massive job loss problem.
Oh yeah,
and businesses closed. Like we haven't felt like the economy right now when they're saying like, oh, the stock market's up, they're like, that's kind of fake because that's all people with money tossing it around between each other. Yeah. We haven't felt like what the regular people's effect on the economy is going to be in for another 6 or 8 months.
Oh yeah, I think there's going to be. I think the homeless problem is going to be out of control. Like I feel lucky. I come from a well-off enough situation. I'm going to get through this without starving, and I'll have a roof over my head. But like there are people who are going, like they're stepping foot in line to go to like a soup kitchen who never thought in a million years that they would be in this mess.
Yeah.
Like it's awful.
I think they said it's something, I don't know, 50 to 70% of restaurants in LA have already gone under.
That God, I can't even.
It's crazy.
Yeah, after this, what bars are going to be open?
Like they're done. Cancel bars.
Yeah,
bars are where sexual assault happens. Cancel them.
Yeah.
Kamala for president. Or Kamala, I'm sorry. Cam girl, that's it. How long do you think until she's president?
I know Biden. I've heard Biden say that he's only plans to run like this was his only run. Like he doesn't want to run in 2024. So
I'm tired.
Yeah, maybe he'll step out.
I think it's 2 days. 2 days in, he dies.
Dude, he's an old man who's
steps through a manhole, a sewer hole.
Yeah.
Because he's Mr. Magoo, but he dies.
Yeah. Like he's he's gonna like choke on like a pretzel or broccoli.
Have you?
That's something I vaguely remember from like the early '90s when George Herbert Walker Bush didn't want broccoli, and that became a controversy. How the world has changed.
I guess I kind of remember that. I remember vague stuff about Bush. I barely remember Reagan. I remember being there, but by that time, everybody was like, he's dead. Like his last like year and a half, people were like, we're pretty sure he's already gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then it was like 9 months after he got out, he was like, I've had amnesia for a while.
Who are you? I am not a crook. Who am I?
Who am I?
Yeah. God.
Yeah, presidents are weird.
Yeah, it's such a weird time. It's only what happened at the Capitol. That is only the beginning. I think we're in for an ugly couple of years. That's depressing.
And by what happened, you mean the police had a 100% turnaround from their previous actions. I really think the Black Lives Matter protest really helped to have a different outcome for this protest, and I think we should give them a big ups on how they handled it. They learned their lesson on police brutality, and I think they have those guys who stormed that place, and the fact that the cops acted in a manner that lessened injury to all.
I wonder why
those guys need to thank Black Lives Matter, and Black Lives Matter need to acknowledge that they saved their lives. Black Lives Matter saved a lot of lives yesterday because of the protests that they did for police brutality. The police have changed their ways.
Oh man.
Yeah, and I think that's something people aren't saying and they don't realize is that it worked. Police are acting differently now. They really did do, I think, they kind of let them run out and then break a couple things and then slowly shoot them out. Nobody died except for that one chick. And by the way, guess what?
The one chick.
White woman.
Yeah.
White woman.
Yeah.
You never hear about them killing them. Like they usually get away with enough, and the cops said not anymore. We're gonna change that. We're not killing black men.
I never
We're
even
killing
thought of
a
it.
white woman.
I was thinking about they managed to kill the one woman who got into the Capitol because it was all dudes.
Karen, we've all been laughing at Karen videos for the last year, and now this is the ultimate one that we saw. She went to climb up through that window.
Right
Your
on.
privilege is over.
Right on. I'm gonna let you.
So all in all, a positive. I think a real positive event yesterday. We all learned a lot of lessons. Black Lives Matter is responsible for saving MAGA lives, and what a country.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you go in a second. Like we've been talking forever. I just want to know because I'm curious. What's under the veil behind you? Is that a bicycle or
I can't
motorcycle?
Tell you that. I can't tell you that.
Are you performing experiments again?
Can't tell you that.
Okay, this is clearly you're up to
Can't
something,
tell you that.
Handren.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm excited to find out. Am I going to find out?
Probably not.
No, let's just suck the fun away from it. You almost had me. Like this was the clickbait. I don't
got this bad boy back here. This is just for me.
Just for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Brewing beer or
no, I'm a man of the Lord. No, I can't tell you. It's just why do you fucking bring it up? Anyway, what do you got behind you?
How could I not bring it up?
What's in those fucking cupboards back there? Is that even a real background? Huh? What are you doing?
Spice rack. That's
invite me on your show and then start questioning me.
That is a list over there.
Going on.
The last couple of people who got up at the North Hollywood Improv. No affiliation with the Hollywood Improv, but shout out to them.
The North Hollywood Improv?
Yeah, I was hosting mics in my apartment for a bit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I would feel, I know you said we're going to get going here, but I would feel the same way about, especially an open mic, as I do just parties in high school. And as I never would have wanted them at my own house, because I just see how people act, and I go, I don't want to invite that into. Why would I invite that into my home?
I would never. I would do it again someday, but not. I don't want to get sick. This is back in like June.
I just mean in general. In general, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Something. I mean, okay. You personally invite a few people.
Yeah.
That that's one thing, but just being like open house, open mic. Come by
Yeah.
I had no control over who could come there, and I just wouldn't want that.
I had a New Year's party a couple years ago, and a bunch of fourth wall people showed up,
Exactly.
and that was not. Yeah, it was. Ugh. Like I was afraid I was gonna wake up in the middle of the night, and one of them was gonna be like passed out, like in the kitchen.
Oh, you mean homeless? Yeah.
Good
I was
news.
like, what do you mean by fourth wall people? And I was like, oh, they are just there all the time because they're homeless.
Yeah, probably homeless, but willing to spend a lot of money to do comedy.
Yeah, they pay $4 an hour for a place.
5, yeah. Yeah, that's one way.
Maybe they get a monthly deal. They say, hey, how about $30 a month, and I
Yeah.
can just be here whenever you're open.
Yeah.
Buy a season's pass. Can I get a season's pass to Fourth Wall? I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna go anywhere this year. Can I just pay out for the whole year?
Yeah. Anything you want to plug? Any podcasts?
Wait, that's having no faith in yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of my stuff. Follow me on everything.
Yeah.
I have a podcast. It's huge.
Yeah.
To live and bike in LA.
That's right. To live and bike in
LA. I'm a king on TikTok.
Yeah, he's the #1 TikTok account right now.
But #1 rising TikTok
in LA.
celebrity. Definitely in LA. I am LA's biggest comic now that everybody left.
Yeah, I like to.
I haven't heard too many people acknowledging that yet, but that's I got the call the other day from Hollywood, and I am LA's.
Like, Handren, I don't know what it is, but you have.
But you got it. Yep.
No, but
so
yeah, I'll have a little thing at the bottom of the screen with all the social media.
Water in the Bay. Go watch that old movie I did. I think it's on Vimeo.
Water in the Bay on Vimeo. Got it.
Yep. If anybody can find that college commercial, I can't find it anywhere anymore. It's for University of Southern Maine. Reach out. That'd be great.
Okay, this doesn't seem like a hard quest to go on. Yeah. He's definitely not going to plug what's under the sheet.
Nothing under the sheet, man. Don't talk about it.
All right.
It was great talking to you.
Dude, thank you so much, man. This was an absolute pleasure.